Now at 6, a shooting at the site of the Chiefs' victory rally. We'll talk with a woman who was there. Also, a report from our crew on the scene of the parade. We'll hear from fans.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Gunfire erupted in Kansas City, Missouri this afternoon just as a massive celebration for the Chiefs' Super Bowl victory was wrapping up. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. Kansas City police said one person is dead, more than 20 injured, with 3 people detained. A large law enforcement presence, including the ATF and FBI, is on the scene working to piece together just what happened. Danya Bacchus is going to have more for us on that in just a few minutes. In the meantime, our reporter Fernanda Silva talked with a person who was inside the Union Station when the shooting happened. Giovanna Klepper is her name. She spoke with Fernanda and shared her experience.
Giovanna Klepper was in Las Vegas last week watching the Chiefs and celebrating the Super Bowl. Today was supposed to be another day of celebrations for her husband who works for the Chiefs, and all the fans. She told me she lived moments of a horror movie. Can you tell me what you saw today?
We thought the shooter was inside the Union Station, so we run away. I fell down, like my husband had to grab me. And then we went straight to the kitchen. There was like probably 40, 50 people in there. And everyone was trying to understand what's going on. The exit was locked. Everyone was screaming to open the doors, and no one was open. So my husband had to kick the door, and he kicked it out the door. And then we finally came downstairs. There was like kids with us that they were missing, like the parents. So we kept the kids with us.
Klepper also said she thought she was going to die, a celebration that unfortunately became a tragedy.
KOAM had a crew at the parade and rally in Kansas City. We're going to have details of that and hear from fans in a few minutes. Authorities responding to a domestic situation in McDonald County, Missouri, find 2 people dead. The initial 911 call yesterday indicated one person in a home was holding another at gunpoint. After authorities tried unsuccessfully to contact the people inside, they entered and found 2 people dead, apparently from gunshot wounds. Authorities have not yet released their names. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty for a first look at the weather.
All right, it turned out to be a nice weather day for us today. Temperatures into the mid to upper 60s once again for afternoon highs. Pretty good temperatures across the region still. It's 59 in Stockton, 62 in Neosho, Anderson, 65. We have Miami at 64, Parsons 63, Iola is sitting at 61. Little windy for us today. Southerly winds at about 10 to 20, but we've had gusts a little bit higher than that. And it's going to stay that way as we go through the rest of the evening hours. We're going to slide back through the 50s, eventually into the mid 40s a little bit later on tonight. We have clear skies right now, but we do have a weak wave to our north. This will increase clouds a little bit later on tonight. We may even get a sprinkle or two, another system behind it, which will start to affect us Thursday night and into Friday. So, of course, we're going to break all this down for you coming up here in just a little bit.
See you soon. Drivers in McDonald County, Missouri might want to seek a detour for tomorrow. From 6 a.m. to 5 p.m., MoDOT crews will install a new overhead sign across I-49 near McDonald County Route H in Pineville. That'll reduce traffic to 1 lane near mile marker 6. Southbound drivers should expect slowed traffic and delays where crews are working. Kansas Humane Societies are advocating to update the wording in the Kansas Pet Animal Act. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
House Bill 2542 is proposing a change in the wording of the Kansas Pet Animal Act, which was enacted 35 years ago. The act regulates the care of licensed pet animal agencies for companion animals. The last change to the Kansas Pet Animal Act was in 2017.
We have been working with stakeholders from every part of the industry for many months to try to make sure that we've got a good bill that just updates the act and continues to make sure that we have really good pet animal health and safety here in Kansas.
Currently, the act requires facilities to have adequate care for companion animals. Kansas animal advocates are trying to add the word continuous to the act.
That's a big word change, right? So a good example of how that word change would affect shelters, rescues, and breeders for wintertime, right? So if you put out a pail of water and it freezes in 30 minutes, that dog does not have access to water.
Jasmine Cowell, along with other animal advocates, testified at the first hearing for House Bill 2542.
And it breaks our hearts, especially when you go to a site and that dog, is so dehydrated because it didn't have water, because it was in an outside kennel and the water froze. And that person is stating, well, I gave them water a few hours ago.
The bill still has a ways to go before the change is enacted. It hasn't yet passed the House and will still need to get Senate approval.
So we're still very early on in the process, and the hearing yesterday was just a good discussion with all of the stakeholders and legislators about what the agency and what the stakeholders have been discussing now for a few months.
Animal activists say this bill will help protect some furry friends like these. Reporting, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Kansas Department of Agriculture says updating wording to acts keeps them up to date with industry standards. Independent Living in Joplin put on a Valentine's Day celebration. Those who attended had some fun and some food. They were also encouraged to participate in square dancing. Staff members of Independent Living say this is the perfect atmosphere to engage with one another and enjoy the holiday.
It's amazing. It's amazing. They probably don't get out like they should, and this just helps them to be able to celebrate holidays just like everybody else does.
Independent Living will celebrate its 30th anniversary of service in the Joplin area this year. Still ahead, the KOAM sports team was at the Chiefs Super Bowl parade. John Dales and Brock Baldridge is going to have more from the Chiefs fans and players up next in sports. Again, one person was killed, 20 or more injured following that Chiefs rally in Kansas City today. Tanya Bacchus has the latest.
Crowds ran from the parade site, some taking cover behind vehicles, some in tears. Injured people were loaded into ambulances as emergency crews filled the streets.
Someone said, oh, it was a fire, and then she comes running and she's like, no, it's shots fired. And so we started listening to her, and then that's when everybody started. Yeah, and
I was just telling everybody to get down, and then like get out the way.
Just minutes earlier, the streets of Kansas City were packed with fans cheering the Chiefs' Super Bowl victory. This local TV crew was there when the shots were fired.
I was actually down on the ground, and Jillian was up on the riser. I looked up at you, Jillian, and you said, get up here right now.
Right. We saw people running out of Union Station on the east side of the doors pretty frantically. And at that moment, we were receiving information that we needed to change where we were.
Unseasonably warm weather had brought as many as 1 million people to the parade, a celebration suddenly eclipsed by violence. Danya Bacchus, CBS News.
Of course, we're going to have more on the tragedy as we learn more. We did have a crew up there covering the celebration side of the festivities as they began today. Let's go to John with that.
That's right, Dow. This morning in downtown KC, Chiefs fans get the chance to celebrate their team doing something the NFL hasn't seen in 20 years or so, winning back-to-back Super Bowls. KOM sports reporter Brock Baldridge was there for the celebration.
Let's go! Let's go! 6,944 days. It was said best by Chiefs radio play-by-play broadcaster Mitch Holtis. But that's the last time an NFL city hosted a World Championship parade in back-to-back years. Once again, Chiefs Kingdom celebrates another year on the highest summit in football.
It did a huge thing for the city. It brought the city together in a whole different way. It just made, I guess, the bond stronger between everyone. It's like this, for example, bringing everyone out to this event.
Just the atmosphere of the city and how we come together, and for it to be over Super Bowls. I mean, I'm 48 and I never thought that this would ever happen in my lifetime. So to be able to see 3 is unreal.
3 Super Bowl titles in 5 years, 4 World Championships in total, and high fives from number 15 on a regular basis. The question now is, what more is there to accomplish?
They're determined enough to do whatever they set their mind to. They're already talking about 3-peat, so let's do it.
Honestly, just keep winning. I mean, I just feel like with our team we have right now, it's really special.
The only thing left on the books is a 3-peat. I mean, we can try to catch Brady's numbers all we want, but I think a 3-peat would mean a lot more than just getting the same amount of Super Bowls as Brady.
In Kansas City, Brock Baldridge, KOAM Sports.
Now, a lot of those visuals are showing the exciting, the safe side of today's Super Bowl parade. Our hearts go out to the victims of the tragedy that transpired there shortly thereafter. Well, it's been a busy week for all of Kansas City sports, not just the Chiefs. Royals pitchers and catchers report to spring training today in Arizona. And with opening day just a month and a half away, the club's leadership makes an important announcement about its future. The Royals are proposing a new stadium in downtown Kansas City near the Power and Light District, which has an estimated price tag of $2 billion. According to the Royals website, over $1 billion of that will be funded by their ownership group. The team's CEO and chairman, John Sherman, views this as a turning point for Jackson County as well as the baseball franchise's future.
We're at a crossroads. In fact, we're here to talk about the crossroads and our intention to make it the new home of the Kansas City Royals. I believe in my gut the timing is right for the Royals to become residents of the crossroads and neighbors to Power and Light, 18th and Vine, and Hospital Hill.
Back to the Chiefs parade, though, you see what was a great morning and great afternoon in Kansas City, how quickly it can take a turn.
What a terrible and shocking swing of emotions for everybody. And imagine for those people there who were celebrating one moment and then some cases just running in panic the next.
Yeah.
Coming up, authorities in Oklahoma find a fugitive from another state hiding in an unlikely place.
Plus, we're tracking a couple storm systems heading our direction. We'll look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be another nice day weather-wise for us today. So far, after a below-average month in January, we've seen above-average conditions so far in February. Most of our days have been 50s, 60s, and 70s, which is above average. Below average this past Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then right back up, 59 yesterday, and up to 67 for us today. And it looks still temperatures are going to be pretty good once again for us tomorrow. Nice shot. This is our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower camera looking downtown Joplin, of course, through or to the northeast. We have clear skies. We'll stick with the clear skies at least the next couple hours. Most of us sitting low to mid 60s still outside. Eventually we'll drop back mid 40s later on tonight. Let's go outside. 60 right now. We have southerly winds at about 15 to 20. We've had gusts higher than that over the past several hours. Through the evening, slide back through the 50s, eventually into the 40s later on tonight. But the winds are going to stay kind of strong. We still have these south winds, 10 to 15, gusts near 20. And the gusts are going to stay kind of up there throughout the evening hours. We're still going to have gusts 20 to 30. And then as we go into tomorrow, we switch out of the northeast and they start to back down a little bit. But then on Friday, they turn around and start to pick up a little bit once again as we head into Friday afternoon as some colder air starts to usher in. So it's going to stay windy over the next couple days. Clear skies, not a whole bunch going on here. We have a wave right across parts of Nebraska into Iowa. This for us will give us some clouds, maybe a random sprinkle later on tonight. Then it passes east. Right behind it, another system building, the western third of the country. This system will bring in some colder air by the time we head into the weekend and possibly some light little snow showers. But it doesn't have a lot of cold air with it. All the Arctic air is still kind of trapped up into parts of Canada where we like it to be. But we'll see a little bit of surge of cooler air trying to work in with that system on Friday as we head into the weekend. Temperatures overnight lows Saturday morning will be well down into the 20s. Not Arctic, but colder air. All right, let's go through time tonight. Few clouds, maybe a random sprinkle. We drop back mid 40s by morning. As we go through the morning, northerly winds, lower 50s by noon. By afternoon, most of us will be 56, 57 degrees. Still cooler, but a nice day. Tomorrow night, clouds will start to increase. Some light showers start to develop late. So hit and miss light showers into Friday morning. There is going to be a band of snow to our north. It will kind of slide in. So we should get some light snow showers, especially on the Missouri side as we go through Friday morning and then turning colder as we head into Friday afternoon. Most of the accumulations with this band of snow is going to be central Missouri, but we could get some light accumulations, Nevada, Pittsburgh, Joplin, Monette, heading over toward Carthage. So something we'll keep our eyes on as we go through the next 36 hours or so. All right, 57 tomorrow, 44 and dropping on Friday. Cooler for the weekend, high of 42 as we head into Saturday morning. We'll look at the rest of the 7-day here at the bottom of the newscast.
Okay, I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
Thanks, and we'll be right back. Police in Oklahoma found a man who was wanted from several states away. He was wanted in Indiana. A tipster led them to where he was, and they found him hiding under a bed, but that was after a standoff. John Acebes has body cam video of what happened.
Jesse, come out with your hands up. You have a felony warrant for your arrest. We have the house surrounded.
This is body cam video of a prior police officer asking Jesse Tripp to come out of a home on North Sawyer Street.
Hey Jesse, we're gonna bring a bite dog and we're gonna release him.
It was a multi-agency effort to surround the house and pinpoint where Tripp was hiding.
Hey Jesse, I'm gonna start shooting pepper balls in there. Stuff sucks, dude.
Tripp was wanted out of Indiana for assault and battery with a weapon, but ended up here in Pryor last week.
They say he's in this back right bedroom.
Here you see Pryor police and Mays County deputies working to find him there.
You have a pepper ball gun?
The officers use caution.
He's got a warrant out of Indiana DOC for assault deadly.
But they find him.
The officers, gave him multiple opportunities. When they went to that back bedroom, they could see his feet sticking out from under bed.
Boy, you better come out there with your hands up or it's going to be a bad day for you.
The Mays County deputy shoots in the pepper balls. And the pepper balls have the effect they hoped it would. You can hear Jesse Tripp coughing.
Let me see your hands.
Pryor Chief Jeremy Cantrell says knowing his charges, they wanted to get him off Pryor streets as soon as they could.
Anytime you got a wanted felon that is running from charges in another state, you definitely want to get him out of our community.
Tripp is eventually taken out of the home.
I got you, Braden. Drag him out.
And brought outside by officers and booked into Mays County Jail.
The suspect, 42-year-old Jesse James Tripp, is facing a number of charges in Indiana, including resisting arrest, being a fugitive from justice, and obstructing an investigation. Coming up, a final check of the forecast and another look at that parade in Kansas City. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Of course, we're going to have the very latest on the investigation of the deadly shooting at Union Station in Kansas City. Plus, a wedding chapel in Miami, Oklahoma celebrates Valentine's Day with, what else? A wedding. And inflation is making it even more expensive to buy your sweetie some sweet treats for Valentine's Day. You maybe already discovered that. Those stories, a lot more. It's tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. And as promised, you have that 10-day forecast for us.
Yeah, it looks like cooler for us tomorrow, but still not too bad. 57. It's going to be windy out there. 44 on Friday. A few random light rain and snow showers during the morning hours, and then down to 23 Saturday morning. Cooler but warming back up Sunday, and then back into the 60s next week.
You know, I know a lot of you at home experienced the same emotions people in Kansas City and all of us in the newsroom did this afternoon. We were watching that celebration in Kansas City, full of joy, and then suddenly, just like that, things changed.
Yeah, and a lot of the Kansas City Chiefs players kind of are having the same feelings. Patrick Mahomes, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, a couple of them that have reached out with messages towards the city, towards the victims on Twitter so far.
Yeah, no, Mahomes, among others, saying he's praying for Kansas City. We'll have much more for you, of course, tonight at 10. Let's make it a great evening.